So in previous videos I've talked quite a lot around Amazon and how you can utilize the platform if you're wanting to set yourself up and become a successful entrepreneur. In today's video I'm wanting to change it slightly, and what I'm wanting to talk about is risk appetite. And I think it's quite an important topic because anyone who is essentially wanting to become financially free should really take note of this. And why I'm wanting to focus around financial freedom is quite an interesting story, and it's around something that happened to me around 2015. Before I go into it and actually explain what the story is about, I think it's also important to note that if you're wanting to set up your own business, your number one motivation shouldn't be around generating wealth. Yes, of course, that's an important factor to it, and I would be lying if that wasn't one of my motivations. But ultimately, why I chose to set up my own business was I wanted to do something that I enjoyed. The 9 to 5 wasn't for me. I can't work for somebody else, and I wanted to take and pursue a career in something that I had my own interests and hobbies in. So I just want to make that clear for anyone watching this. Don't make money your number one factor for wanting to get into your own entrepreneurship career, because it's going to be a complete fail. In 2015, I was in Miami with a few friends and we were trying to get a ticket to a particular music event. Us being us, we left it last minute and it was physically impossible to get hold of this. It completely sold out. Now we had a contact who was able to get them for us, but because I think it was about 3-4 hours away from this event, the only way we could actually purchase the ticket was using Bitcoin. Now in 2015, I had not a clue about cryptocurrency, okay? And I think the price in March 2015 was around $250 at that time. And we wanted to get 3 tickets, so we're gonna have to pay one whole Bitcoin. I was paying for something with a digital currency. We completely rejected the idea and we decided not to go. I looked at it when I got home, and what I noticed was how the price of this coin only a few years ago was $100. And I thought to myself, I was like, what is this? It's never gonna take off. Anyway, I did some research. Fast forward a year, the price had blown up. I think we're at thousands of dollars, and I couldn't wrap my head around this. For the life of me, I thought I'd missed the boat on it. And I remember speaking to a friend. He said to me, he goes, you know what? If the pizza delivery boy is talking about this, then it's too late for this. And at the time, it was on everything. It was on BBC, it was on Sky News, it was on CNBC, everywhere. What he is saying makes sense to a certain degree, and I didn't invest. Anyway, let's fast forward a few years, and what have we seen happen is the price shot up dramatically. I think today we're at $60,000. Me being me, I do like to take certain risk, and even though I didn't invest in 2015, in 2016-17, when I was starting to play around with it and learn what it was about, I did put some money into it because I believe heavily into the blockchain ecosystem. I love what it stands for. I don't think it's a fad, and I think it is here to stay. It's so early on, it is going to grow even bigger. Now, look, these videos aren't about cryptocurrency, so I don't want to spend too much time going into it. If you guys have any questions on it, always post them in the comments below. We'll take a look at them and potentially do a video on it, because it is an area of interest and it is something I have invested into. But the reason why I'm wanting to kind of just tell you guys this story is because it's important that if you're wanting to go on your own journey, you've got to have an appetite for risk. And you might be questioning and thinking to yourself, it's all well and good saying this, but you need the money to start off. Which is true, but there are various different projects, and there will work around various different things that you can get into early. You can put £100 into something. It's not a huge deal to take an investment, take a risk on something, to see where it can go and where it can take you into the future. So the biggest lesson that I've learned is not to miss an opportunity when one comes along. Now, granted, at the time, I wasn't fully clued up on what Bitcoin was, and I had to go do some research on it. And don't feel that you have to rush into learning something. Take your time to really fully understand what it's about. But the one thing I do regret to a certain extent is not investing a greater amount into it. I strongly believed into the blockchain, as mentioned previously, but I didn't take as much as risk as I would have liked to with it. And in hindsight, that was something that I do slightly regret. Not because the price has increased substantially, like that is a benefit of it, and I would have seen some fantastic returns from it. Like I have seen some great returns, but ultimately how the platform and the ecosystem has developed, there are so many opportunities within it. And look, it's still so young, so there are more opportunities to take from it. But how you can relate that to your own journey is, if you believe in something and you think it has legs to stand on, don't sit back and let time pass by, because you're only fooling yourself. Time's going to carry on moving forward, and you're just going to stay still, and you're not going to grow and develop. There are so many things that you can do on a day-to-day basis and learn and always improve. It has kind of like increased my risk appetite, and whatever I do moving forward, I go in with bigger strides, knowing, look, I make smart judgment calls on things. I'll always look into something and educate myself, but if I truly believe in it, I probably try and take greater risks with it, because that does bring greater rewards. Ultimately, there's no fun to be had just sitting on the sidelines, and I've applied my increased appetite for risk in every part of my life, and that's why I don't regret passing on Bitcoin in 2015.